Kimberly Wedgeworth with Town and Country Realty. Also your Denver NAREB Vice President. We're out here at this homeownership summit, bringing you the information. Banks are in the house, insurance brokers are in the house. We're fighting for democracy in housing, and it's important for minority home ownership right now more than ever. More than ever.
With KeyBank,
I'm Steven with KeyBank.
and we're here to help promote wealth and home ownership and financial needs within banking. So KeyBank has a lot of great programs with grants to get you in a home, 100% financing to get you in a home, and all kinds of products to kind of just help you in your financial situation.
Yeah. So we're here. We're going to try to help close some generational gaps through home ownership. We're happy to be a part of it, and we know we're going to have an amazing event.
Yes.
We're looking forward to it. Yeah.
I'm Cheryl Brown, President, Mortgage Loan Originator with Pinnacle Lending Advisors. It's a new mortgage company that I started a few months ago after leaving U.S. Bank. I've been in the business, in the mortgage and title business for about 40 years, managing small and large entities. And I'm also a seasoned underwriter, DE certified, as well as VA SAR. And Pinnacle is a full service mortgage company. We do all traditional loans, FHA, VA, USDA, Fannie Freddie, conventional loans. We also do DSCRs, and which are your investment for investors. We specialize in first time home buyers and helping them find that down payment money to buy a home.
Here at the summit, celebrating if you're looking, building generational wealth, if you're looking to buy a home or develop a home, we got land developers here like myself that can build your home. We're excited. You need to come out and make sure we get out of the rental business and you have home ownership that have generational wealth that you can send it to your kids and you can have your kids inherit it. We are awesome. We thank you.
Hi, I'm Carol Reed. I am with Mondo West Real Estate. I'm also representing DMAR, which is the Denver Metro Association of Realtors. We are here to really connect home buyers with those resources necessary. We represent everything in the Denver metro area. I personally am a native to Denver. I grew up here. I live here. In fact, I live just a few blocks away. So it's really exciting for me to come out and get to represent. I love that we're capturing resources for individuals who might not be aware of what's out there that can help into the generational wealth. We need to really stop putting that money into rent and start building our own bank, and not only for ourselves, but also for our family members and the generations to come.
Opportunities before we buy a house. So I expect you guys to go around to every one of these booths and ask them this question. Exactly what you got on your shelf. Not what you got on your shelf to buy a house, but what you got on your shelf for community. And if you don't get the right answer, come see me.
Shared Power Project ICU is a homeownership program for women, empowering women to be homeowners. I am a new homeowner currently through the program. It's well worth the journey, the challenge, the experience, and the investment in myself. I encourage any and all women who have the desire or the want to become a homeowner to follow their journey and succeed in becoming a homeowner. Project ICU is a wonderful program, and I recommend it to any woman that wants to own her home.
My name is Muriel Williams-Thompson. I am with NAREB, National Association of Real Estate Brokers. I am the vice chair nationally, but I have the honor and privilege to be on the executive board and be a past president of this awesome organization, Denver NAREB, also known as Denver Board of Realtists. So thank you for everyone who is here. I do want to turn things over to our awesome president, Ashton Williams, and he is our president for Denver Board of Realtists, also known as Denver NAREB.
Today, we're so thankful for you coming, and thankful to all of our sponsors and supporters and vendors who are here today. Let's give them also a round of applause for their extreme and generous support.
I would say the host for the building and the host with the most, Patrice Harris. She actually has a lot of history. She also is a realtist. That's true.
Hi everyone. Again, my name is Patrice Harris. I am a realtor. But I'm here to tell you a little bit about the building we're in today, which is Dahlia Campus for Health and Wellbeing. This area, so this building where Denver Health is across the street and where the senior housing building is across the street, we're all part of the Dahlia. And that area had a lot of Black-owned businesses. So it's really significant to Park Hill and the neighborhood. And so when that area went away, and it was pretty much nothing for several years, but when Wellpower bought this land and built Dahlia, the neighborhood was not so excited about a mental health center. So to kind of alleviate some of that stress and get the neighborhood excited about it, Dahlia became more of a community initiative. So we do have a community advisory board, and they're still active today and putting an input to the building, to the community. But that's how we got this big building that includes a 1-acre farm outside, a greenhouse. We have kids that need a dentistry, which is low-income dental care. We have a preschool. We have a day treatment upstairs, which serves K-8. So for kiddos who don't do great normal schools, we have that. And then of course we have our clinicians for mental health. So we have a lot going on in this.
Take a moment of privilege for a second. Be Well is in the building, and I just wanted you to say a few words and some remarks.
No, thank you all so much for having me. Thank you, Ms. Helen. I'm Sharita Hudnall. I serve as the director of our education, engagement, and training for the Be Well Health and Wellness Initiative. And we focus on all things social determinants of health, really training our residents on how the social determinants of health impact us individually and systemically, and how we can work collectively to bring about solutions that really impact our communities. We're going to be doing some work in the Park Hill neighborhood to really help outreach to community residents about some of the changes or some of the proposed changes and vision for Park Hill in a new community plan that'll kind of govern how things develop over the next 20 years. You know, that happens ever so often, and so we'll be in the community just making sure that we're touching base and we're on the ground, making sure folks are getting information and are aware and can be a voice in making sure that we're shaping the future of our neighborhood. So we look forward to seeing you all again.
I am Simone Renee. I am representing Project ICU today. Project ICU is up to $10,000 grants for single women. This program is more than just a grant, it's a community. We come together, we learn about the process so that you can make the most informed and educated decisions about where you want to be and what it takes to get there. We share our stories, we share our trials, our tribulations, our excitement, and our wins together.
Mr. Milford Adams, everybody! Hey, we're here to rock the house today. We're here to celebrate with you today. We're excited that you're here because we're talking about building wealth Okay, you know what Les Brown said? You gotta be hungry. You gotta be hungry about buying a home. You know what Dr. Miles Monroe said? You are the kingdom citizen. You are the homeowner of your present. You know, the other guy said, waking the giant within you. You gotta know that you are one decision away from homeownership today. These professionals that you see here today, they are for you. In a crisis when it comes to homeownership. And we have to build generational wealth. I think this is the youngest lady. Stand up, lady. Stand up. I think she's 19 years old. Wave at her. And the lady next to her mom is here. So I told her to take some candy, get some flowers, whatever. Because those are our future, right? We got to take, and the young folks over here, those are our future. We got to take care of them. You are here to build generational wealth. What do you? And I was the first black president that ever was. So we are trendsetters. Lisa, come on up and introduce yourself and say hello to everyone.
Hi, how's everyone doing today? Everyone's good. My name is Lisa Nguyen. I'm the president of the Denver Metro Association of Realtors. Also a Denver born and raised native. I think I got up here last year and made a joke about it, but I have to do it because I'm from the west side, but you probably shouldn't be saying that over on the east side, but anybody that's a native knows, born and raised in Denver, grew up at Kennedy, grew up over on the west side, so housing is something that is very big to our communities and something that's very big over at the Denver Metro Association of Realtors. One fun fact about our association is that we are the only ones in the nation with 5 board seats, one for NAREB, ARIA, which is the Asian Real Estate Association of America, NAREB, the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals, the LGBTQ+ Alliance, and VA-REP. And so we are the only board in the whole country which has 5 voting seats at our association for each of those communities. And why this is significant is that we like to make sure that as we're voting for things that affect the community, we have the right people sitting at the table to make sure that those issues are addressed. So on behalf of the Denver Metro Association of Realtors, thank you so much for everything that NAREB does for the community. We are very, very excited to partner and also be there for the community. I know that right now is a very, very hard time. We don't want to sugarcoat anything. A lot of the fair housing funds have been cut. A lot of our communities are being discriminated against, but one thing that we always say is that there's strength in numbers. And so regardless of how small each of our communities are, we're a lot more mighty when we work together to try to tackle some of these issues. So.
As far as KeyBank goes, I'm not really going to sit here and talk a lot about our products because I really want to talk a little bit more about some home ownership issues, but we do have a $5,000 grant for buying a home. It has to be your primary residence, and you do not have to be a first-time home buyer. It does depend on the location. Pretty much many homes in Denver and Aurora, that's kind of the primary area where there's a lot of qualifications for that, and as well as in the Springs and in Pueblo. We do have a 100% home purchase program, which you can do with a Deerfield, with a Chaffa, with another program to help you get into the home. So that's 100% financing, and when you have an additional, either our grant or the grants from Chaffa or the other down payment assistance programs, you're walking into the house without anything down. But it was very interesting about home ownership and about the gap between the Black and Hispanic population compared to the white population. That was one of the issues. That needs to increase. We cannot continue to let these other companies come in and buy these homes and rent them to us. We need to buy them ourselves. But the other thing that was very, very interesting, especially for our younger people in here, if you buy a home by the time you're 30, compared to when you're 40, you are basically gaining $120,000 in wealth just by that 10 years. So that's really important. The earlier you can get into a home, the more wealth you build. Another thing for you parents, more likely children of homeowners become homeowners. It's a cycle. They see that, they get the value of that, so they're gonna strive very, very hard to be a homeowner themselves. So definitely keep that in mind.
you. My name is Helen Randall. I'm a vice president at Chase Bank. I've been part of NAREB, I don't know, a long time. But my thing is creating generational wealth. And I will tell you, he who owns the land owns the wealth. Say that with me. He who owns the land owns the wealth. And we want to own that land. Right now, Black and brown people, our homeownership has dropped significantly because we have people online like BlackRock telling us it's better to rent. You don't need to buy a house. You don't need to keep your yard. You don't need to do these things. And then what do? Oh yeah, I'm in a penthouse paying $3,200 a month and you own nothing. I would prefer you to buy a condo for $291,000. Get a roommate to help you pay your mortgage. Because he who owns the land owns the wealth. Chase also offer grants, $2,500 to $5,000 grants for all people. And it just depends on where you want to live. We also have home buyer workshops, so you're welcome to join those too. But my passion is I want to see everyone of color own a home. That is my passion, and I strive for that. I want to see every person of color be a homeowner. And you have to take a step. We can give you all this great information, but if you don't take a step, you'll still be renting. Am I right? So you gotta take a step. Number one, what do I need to do first? Well, let me check on my credit. How am I doing there? If my credit ain't okay, let me get to someone who can help me with that, right? Number two, let me get my house in order. And then get someone that can help me become a homeowner.
My name is Tiffany Roan. I serve as the Client Success Manager for the Deerfield Fund. The Deerfield Fund was created to help increase wealth for first-time Black and African-American homeowners through the on-ramp of homeownership. I'm gonna have a nerd moment, then bring it back to why that's important. Everyone say the Civil Rights Act of 1968. The Fair Housing Act was created to prevent discrimination for those who are interested in purchasing homes. That is race, age, sexual orientation, and if you have a disability. Yeah? Let's talk about the Equal Credit Opportunity Act of 1974. Y'all share a lot about it. The Equal Credit Opportunity Act of 1974. Excellent. The Equal Credit Opportunity Act was created to stop discrimination within credit reporting agencies based on your race, gender, sexual orientation, and if you receive government assistance, along with others, to help increase homeownership across the board. Now, from what we've heard from our realtors, from our financial professionals, have we seen an increase in homeownership for Black and brown households? No. Other underlying factors come into place like HOA discrimination, appraisal discrimination, that don't necessarily violate those two acts, but they play a role in decreasing homeownership, as well as pay gap, as well as systemic racism. As our good folks at Chase said, he who owns the land owns the wealth. So what does the Deerfield Fund do? The Deerfield Fund provides up to $50,000 now, or 15% purchase price towards the down payment of your first home. Prior to last year, the purchase could only be done in the 7 surrounding counties of Denver. Now, you can live anywhere you want to in the state of Colorado, and the funds can be used for that.
And so I got another announcement to make. Do you guys think this is good? Please, people with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Did y'all hear what wait, say 5. 5. Bring 5 more people with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, it's not enough that we entertain the information. You guys have to share it with others. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you, and I'll be seeing you on the next commercial.
All right, so it's prize giveaway time. We're gonna do our first raffle.
Yes, Russ Foster with Bank of America. And we have the opportunity to give somewhat of a infomercial about what you do, but I think in the same theme that everybody's been conducting today, it's less about us and more about the collective here and why we're all sitting in these chairs. We're really, really inspired to initiate homeownership. And at my bank, for sure, we've since 2019 made a commitment of $15 billion, we call the Community Homeownership Commitment, to put people in houses and provide grants and education. And I want to kind of focus in on that today, the educational aspect, because I think what's inspirational from all the stories we've heard today, people come at homeownership at different seasons of their life. They may be at the onset of this journey of trying to find their way to find homeownership, and that's great. Maybe you're farther down the line. Maybe you have more money that's set aside. But the most important thing you heard today is that you have to start. It has to be initiated. And if you get to that point, no matter where you are, there are people here to help you. At my bank, we have what's called Connected Home Partners, which means if you're at the beginning part of your journey, you need credit counseling, you want someone to show you exactly the budgeting aspects, anything that you'd like to understand what it takes to be a homeowner, come to us, and we have partners that we will pay for you to go to this class. Usually, I think anywhere from $450 to $550 to go to one of these, we will pay for that. If you're at the beginning of your journey, to put you with a counselor that will help you to get to that end of the journey. We're happy to do that. In terms of community ownership and the grant programs, it doesn't matter. KeyBank, Chase, Bank of America, we are here to give you guys money. And we do this as a collective. This isn't just about my bank. It's about all of us trying to help in community home ownership. I think it's important. Key.com. Key.com is where you find your grant programs. Chase, you guys have your own realtor program, I believe, that also shows grant eligibility. Do you have a website we can tell everybody? Chase My Home. Okay, Chase My Home, easy to remember. So again, we're all in this together. The main point is that there is money out here to give to you all, and education, if that is suitable, to help you in this journey. Food sponsorship. I want to thank the organization for giving us this time, and I hope you guys take advantage of it. So thank you.
I'm highly aware of the fact that I'm the only thing that stands between all of you and lunch. So, big thank you. We're really honored to be here today. I want to thank Ashton and Muriel and Helen, everyone, for inviting Denver Metro Fair Housing Center to take a few moments to give you a quick briefing on three things. One, history. Two, your basic rights under fair housing laws. And three, how Denver Metro Fair Housing Center can help if you should face discrimination. So number one, NAREB, Denver Metro Association of Realtors. These are our close partners in making sure that the fair housing laws are implemented in this state. And so learning number one is anybody looking to buy a home in Colorado or anywhere in the United States needs to deal with a realtor or a realtist, not just a real estate agent, because people who are members of these associations take a pledge to fulfill the spirit and the letter of the fair housing laws and all their behaviors in assisting you to buy a home. History. How many people here know which year Colorado adopted its fair housing law? Anybody know the actual year? 1969? Get closer. Anyone else? 79. No, you're off. You're going the wrong direction. Colorado passed its fair housing law in 1959. 9 years before the federal government. These are true pioneers in Colorado that pushed for these equal opportunity in housing. Senator George Brown, leader and the first black person elected to the state senate in Colorado, led the fight on the floor to pass that law. Barbara Cooper Smith, vice president of the NAACP in the 1950s, went down south with the
multiracial, multi-religious group to assist the fight to desegregate the South, came back to Colorado and said, we have some business to do here. Took them 3 years to push that bill through, but guess what? Colorado became the first state in the United States to have a fair housing law on the books. We're 1 month ahead of California. What are some of the behaviors that are actually against the law? One would be lying about availability. Happens in both the rental market and the sales market. Everything's cool on the telephone until you show up in person. That just got sold this morning. That apartment, just rented it this morning. I started this work as a tester. I was an older white guy showing up. Remember that horrible fire up north in Nolan County just a couple of years ago? Thousands of people displaced from their homes. Well, we were getting multiple reports of people of color not being able to rent an apartment when they're burned out of their homes. So we sent in teams, maybe a Latino mom and me, same day, same apartment, same profile. This is like secret shopping for fair housing. Had the same profile financially, no evictions in the background, same kind of good income, etc. About 1/3 of the time, my colleague, who happened to be Latino, was told no apartments available. Same day, same phone number I'm calling, there wasn't a single time when an apartment was not available for me. And we documented that. We held that property management chain accountable. It was settled out of court. But that's the work that the Denver Metro Fair Housing Center does. And we will continue to do it with your support. We're going to come through this tough time. We're under attack. With your support, we're going to come through it.
That your organization provides to all of us. It's so important to know that you're not out here alone. That you absolutely have support, to the highest level. If it needs to get there, that you have that support, and that you are, that you have rights. And as a citizen of these United States, you have rights, and these rights are protected in this time. So, thank you.
All right, my name is Quincy Smith. I'm with Risk Takers Youth Initiative. We are partners with NAREB on so many different things. We went with them out to Yoder, to the Black Farmers Ranch, and it was just phenomenal. To truly see that it's possible and that anything is possible, and that's one thing that Risk Takers is about, is showing us that anything is possible, but you just gotta be willing to take that risk. Our motto is no risk, no reward. So what I'm here to talk about is a few of the programs that we have. One of them being our youth football team and our cheerleading squad, going from ages 4 to 13. And last year was our first year. We came in 3rd place for our flag football team. This year we coming for 1st, so everybody in the Youth Nation League, y'all look out, we coming for it all. But the main reason why I'm here is to talk about something beyond sports and athletic abilities, and that is our Right to Rise program. And Right to Rise is exactly what it sounds like. It is about our young people using writing and their creativity to not only express themselves, but to get what's in here out there. You know what I mean? So one thing about creative writing is it has a lot to do and helps mental health a lot more than any of us think. And we are giving them the space, the opportunity, and the platform to do that in a creative way. So we have creative writing, we have hip hop, we have spoken word, we have comedy, we have skits, we have content, and we do different things in that nature to get our young people to express themselves in a positive way so they're not out causing chaos. Our Right to Rise program is going to be held at the Apprentice Peace Center right here on Park Ave and Curtis, 2245 Curtis Street. And like my shirt, our flag football team is right here at Curtis Park, down here on, what's that, Martin Luther King and Champa. Our website is under development, so you guys will be able to get at us on our website and donate and find out more about me and Quincy and what we're about and where we come from and how we came up with this beyond magnificent idea of Risk Takers Youth Initiative.
I'm Becky. I'm here with the South Metro Realtor Association, SMEDRA. We're just here trying to make sure that everybody's educated as a client, as our realtors, affiliates, and what you need as well to be able to purchase a home and make sure everybody's getting across that finish line.
So this is our expert legacy and protect your assets panel. So everyone, once you actually have the asset, if you already are a homeowner, you might own a few different properties, you might even have some commercial property, or if you haven't purchased a home, but you actually want to know how to protect it once you do have it, we have the experts that are here to actually talk about this. So I just want to say thank you to each one of you for being here today, and if you could just give us a brief who you are and what you represent.
All right, hello folks. My name is Evan Gathers. I work with Comparion Insurance. A lot of people haven't heard of Comparion. You've probably heard of Liberty Mutual. We're Liberty Mutual's brokerage arm, so we provide home, auto, life insurance. If you care about it, I'm here to help protect it.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sydney Merrill. I'm an attorney at City Park Law Group. We specialize in estate planning, so really there to assist you with your preservation of your wealth or any other kind of documents you may need to make sure you have a smooth transfer.
Hello, my name is Sean Williams. I'm owner and operator of Iron Phoenix Inspections. I help people know and love their homes for their health, safety, and peace of mind. So the condition of the home is extremely important. As you live there, stay there, and I want to talk about some of that information today.
Hi everyone, I'm Lisa Nguyen. I'm the president of the Denver Metro Association of Realtors, but outside of that, I'm the team leader of the international group at RE/MAX Professionals. We sell residential, commercial, and businesses as well. So we specialize in business sales and work largely with a lot of the business owners in buying and selling their businesses.
Once you actually have a home, why is it important to protect it, and what steps do you need to take to do that? I'm going to start with Sydney.
Yeah, so definitely if you already have a property, it's definitely important to protect it, especially if someone passes away, to avoid the probate process. If no one knows, probate is essentially when you pass away and you have a home in your name or any assets over $80,000, you're automatically going to go to probate. Probate court is where you have to go to either be appointed as personal representative, but somebody over the court will have to appoint you to say, yes, you can actually transfer this property according to a will or according to Colorado law. Another important reason to really do estate planning, because if you don't decide how you want your assets to be transferred, the state will. So the state will say, okay, well, this is what we're going to do based off of your family dynamic. And it can get very complicated depending on, especially split families or multi-generational families, how that asset is really split up. It's important to get that under control. Another important reason, if you have any family members that have to go into Medicaid, long-term care, that is a big one. If you have somebody doing that and they have to go into long-term care, they have to fill out an application. On that application, you have to state what your assets are, and Medicaid wants their money on the back end. So they will, if you don't file for probate, they will file for probate to make sure that they are getting paid. So a way to preserve your house is definitely putting in some kind of either an entity or a trust. But then there's also what's called a 5-year look back. So a lot of people like to wait on the back end to say, well, my mom or my relative now has to go into long-term care, they're on Medicaid, what can we do? You're a little bit too late, right? We had to have transferred those assets prior to the 5 years. If we don't, you will get penalized. So they'll come back and say, well, we see you transfer within 5 years, we're gonna penalize you for those years that we're making up. So you have to do self-pay versus going through Medicaid. So that's some of the big reasons to definitely preserve.
Another really big reason, a way to protect your guys' assets is homeowners insurance. We live in Colorado, we get every type of weather here. Tornadoes, we get parts of hurricanes, there's earthquakes here, mudslides. Make sure you just have good home insurance, because so many times I see people's homes and something happens, a sewer line backs up, you got to call a plumber, and your plumber's like, yo, we have to dig 15 feet underneath your house to be able to replace this sewer line, so you have some place to go to the bathroom. And if you don't have that sewer line protection, that's $15,000, $20,000 coming right out of your pocket. I hate when that happens. It happens all the time here in Denver, and I want to make sure that people are protected. And the second biggest one that I always tell people about that is like the most important and powerful part of my job is life insurance. A lot of people in our community are like, oh no, I don't want no life insurance. I don't want anybody thinking about me when I'm, trying to plan for me to die. But unfortunately, each and every one of us in here is gonna go to the grave. Ain't no way around it. And if something tragic happens to your partner and you guys have that mortgage and you can't pay it by yourself, you're gonna have to sell that house. Make sure your loved ones are protected with even just a little bit of life insurance, because there's nothing worse. It's happened to me personally. When someone you really care about passes away, and so you have to grieve, then you also have to worry about finances. It's horrible, and so many people in the Black community have that happen. When grandma dies, how in the world are we gonna pay for this house? Well, it's my favorite thing about my job is to see people when they're grieving and they're at their worst and their lowest, and I can come up and be like, hey, the person who passed away was thinking about you and they care about you. And I pull out my pocket, $100, $300, $400,000 check to be, they were thinking about you, and so now you don't have to worry. Go directly to the bank with this, so that when you get home you can cry, but know that all of this is yours. So please make sure you're taking care of yourself, and you're making sure that your loved ones, especially, and your assets are protected.
Sean is actually a home inspector, and that is part of protecting an asset before you purchase it. You want to know everything about it. What can you tell us about that process and why it's important?
Yes, so when you're purchasing a home, you want to get a home inspection to ensure that all of the critical systems are in good shape. And we want to make sure there are no material defects. A material defect is something that can be an unreasonable safety hazard to someone, or that can be extremely expensive to fix. So these are things like sewer lines, or roof, carbon monoxide hazards. We all have gas burning appliances most of the time. So these are things that I look out for, and I want you to think, you get a home inspection, but if you've been living in the house for 50 years, how often we look at those systems through that duration of time? So deferred maintenance is important as well. So, that's the home inspection in a nutshell. It lets you know that you're purchasing something that's actually in good shape when you get it, or it lets you know the ways that you can actually get it where it needs to be for your health, safety, and peace of mind. Yes, sir.
Finding that there was not very much representation for the communities on the commercial side of things. In regards to building and working with a lot of the commercial agents. So yes, we work in commercial, and then we also buy and sell businesses. So right now what I'm seeing is that a lot of business owners are also being affected by the economy. They are putting their life savings into opening this business and not being able to pay for food costs, and the rise in paying their employees and the rent costs, because a lot of taxes are being increased right now. That's a huge issue with being a homeowner, going in, having a certain tax amount, and a lot of our tax values are being doubled, and in commercial spaces even tripled. And so the taxes, along with insurance, are what's causing a lot of hardships for people. So as you're going in and becoming homeowners, know that maybe if you're buying a brand new home, for example, the tax that you see online is going to be based off of the land. But once you go and purchase the property, the year after that, the taxes will be based off of the assessment of the value of the home.
What are some of the documents and the things that you need to do if you wanted to add names to your property, and what documents and where should you submit them?
Like family members. Yeah, so I guess it depends on what document we're talking about. The biggest document that a lot of people get is a trust agreement. That document you are able to, it's like a will, but it's more protected because you're actually transferring your asset while you're living. So we're actually changing title to whatever you decide to call your trust. So you yourself as an individual will no longer technically own it. Your trust will be the owner of your property. But in your trust document, you are able to allocate how you want that asset to be divided upon your passing or upon some kind of event. So you can always add different family members, children, your spouse. Again, it's like a will. You're still saying this is my declaration of what I want to happen when I pass away, but it does avoid that probate process. There are different kinds of trust agreements. The one that you are able to amend is called a revocable trust agreement. So as your life changes, you can always come and say, well, I now have kids, I want to add a provision for my children in there, or this person may have passed away. You're able to amend that as well, but you are always able to add different family members or friends to your trust agreement if you have a revocable.
Why is homeowner insurance so expensive in Colorado?
Well, like I said, one of the things I kind of said earlier is that unfortunately, like, Colorado is so darn beautiful, and that's why I live here. But, you know, like, look what happened last night. We had a random snowstorm. We have tons of snow. We have rain. We have tornadoes. We have droughts. We have actually the third most amount of earthquakes in the nation here. And so that's one of the reasons why it's so expensive. Also, we're also the third worst drivers in the nation. People out here wild. You guys all got here, you know. And so that's one of the reasons why homeowners is so expensive. But that's one of the things that people really don't realize, especially about insurance, is everybody's like, oh man, I'm with, you know, X company and I've been with them for 22 years. And then I end up giving them a quote and they're paying more by double, triple. I always say shop every year, and most importantly, get an agent. Because, you know, if something happens to your home, you're gonna call a 1-800 number. That person who picks up might not be in this country, and they're sure as heck not gonna be an insurance agent, and they're gonna be reading flip cards and telling you, you know, if a customer says X, you say Y. Well, when you call me, I'm the expert. I go directly to the company to be able to make sure that I take care of those things for you. So your whole job is just tell me what happened and I get it fixed. So it's really important to make sure you're shopping all the time. Insurance. Yes, yeah. You know, AI is cool. AI is real cool, but it's not a person. It doesn't know who you were saying, and mostly it's just trying to make you happy. And it could be just straight up lying to you. And like, I have a license, and the state of Colorado is not afraid to take that away from me. So it's in my best interest to make sure that I'm working in your best interest. So make sure you have a person that you trust, and especially I would say go with a broker, because like I said, I have 15 different companies. I'm playing them against each other for your best cost. So just make sure that, you know, you're actually talking to a real human being, because like I said, who knows what's gonna happen tomorrow.
Start with a takeaway for our audience today.
Just looking back on my parents' story, my dad came over from Vietnam with $20 in their pocket. My parents lived in the Sun Valley housing projects, for those in Colorado that remember that. And one of the ways that we were able to build wealth was through home ownership. And so think about a home as something that can help you build equity and be an asset for you. I always have this term, is scared money doesn't make money. So you have to go and be a risk taker, right? No intended, but be a risk taker. Don't be scared to try to get that home. What my parents did was they got out of the Sun Valley housing projects. They bought a trailer home because that's all they could afford after that. And they eventually saved up and bought a home. And from that home, they took the equity out to buy a business. And that's how we were able to get our first business, from pulling the equity out of our house, but educating yourself on what a home can do for you. Outside of that, you can write off the interest on the home, so that helps you on your taxes. There's so much value in being able to buy a home, but the first step is to get your foot in the door. And even if it's something little, turning that into an investment to make some more money. But I always like to share that story because it is possible. We didn't have the money, but we figured out how to have our assets make money for us. So go out there, be a risk taker, take that risk, take that first step, you know, make relationships and build relationships with the right people who can help you get there.
So my takeaways are twofold. I mean, of course, being is always wonderful, and it's good to see us grow as a community and people taking in information and using it for their greatest interest, which is owning a home and actually setting the foundation for their family. But my second fold takeaway will be a takeaway I want to give you to understand. When I say foundation, the foundation is important. So are roofs, plumbing, electrical, a number of different things. And I say that because, the difference between an appraisal and a home inspection is an appraisal is the value of the home, where an inspection is the condition of a home. And you have to understand that if the condition of the home is not great, it can definitely affect the value of the home. So if you own a home and you want to make sure that you preserve the value, you definitely want to make sure that you preserve the condition and that you're always trying to make it better. And that makes our community better because we have more beautiful homes that are more efficient, that actually work well. So those are just some takeaways that I hope you take from the home inspection. If you have any. My name is Sean Williams. Iron Phoenix Inspections is my company. I'll give you a card here a little later. But if you have any questions, please come and talk to me about it. But thank you very much.
Yes, I would say the takeaway from today is really trying to preserve your asset. Once you are able to even get that home, how can you make it work for you so that it's kept in your family generationally? We are seeing now there's a significant wealth transfer that is going on in our community. We have now, especially my grandparents, or maybe some of your parents or grandparents are passing away and did have homes in Park Hill, where they actually, may have bought it for under $20,000 that are now worth a significant amount of money. And how are we able to use that to make sure it's transferred down properly and not having it where creditors are able to take that away from you or set up for college funds for your children. This is really a big time and a really asset that we're starting to see in our community today. But I'm happy to answer any questions or talk to anyone. Again, my name is Sydney Merrill, and I work at City Park Law Group.
I would say that the main takeaway that I always tell people is just protect your assets and protect yourself. And, the first biggest asset in your entire life is you. So you want to make sure that you're protected for your loved ones. And the second biggest asset you have is taking care of your home. So make sure that is well protected, because it happens in Colorado all the time. We saw with the Marshall fires, that something crazy can happen, and then you're looking around at a pile of ash that used to be $500,000. Make sure that is protected. Protect yourself and protect your home, because there's nothing more important. Evan Gathers with Comparion Insurance. I'll send you a card also. You can also look me up through Liberty Mutual.
Thank you to all of our panelists today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. And remember, how many people you gonna bring next time? 5.